Welcome back to the MLG Play 2000 series. Coming up next, we're going to have Quantic Gaming versus Relentless. And Quantic, they recently made a roster change, Mr. X Censor. And Quantic, they decided to part ways. So Quantic, they're currently looking for one. And in this tournament, they're going to be playing with Study, formerly of Collapse.
Yeah, Study's a great player. I mean, so is Censor. I believe that they actually made that roster move last night.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how much teamwork, if any, they have with Study.
Yeah, so if you're wondering about the current roster for Quantic, it's now Assassin, Flawless, and Vengeance looking for one, and I believe Study might be a free agent.
I believe Study is a free agent because Collapse, formerly Merc, and I think they picked up Fargo or Silly.
Yeah, Silly.
Yeah, so I believe that roster is now Too Quick, Silly, Rose, and Bloods.
Okay, seems like a solid lineup to me. I always thought that Silly was more of an anchor player, so him and Bloods, they might be switching off here and there. But Study, he's a fantastic player. I had the opportunity of teaming with him for a couple of weeks, and his Search and Destroy is really where he shines.
Yeah, he's a very good Search and Destroy player, which, I mean, that's one of Quantic's stronger game modes. They're extremely strong in Search and Destroy, but it'll be interesting how he takes over for Censor and Hardpoint. Censor was kind of their vocal leader.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit iffy for me with Quantic Gaming because Censor, not only was he the in-game leader, here's the main objective we got from him as well. He was always doing the dirty work. Now Study, he's more of an aggressive submachine gun. He wants to pick up those kills. He wants to roam around the hard point. So I wonder who's going to step up in that regard.
It'll be interesting who will step up in that regard because the rest of the team's mostly, it's kind of AR heavy, to be honest. I mean, Assassin's a very good AR, and then Flawless and Vengeance are also AR, so it'll be interesting to see who switches over and starts helping Study in the hill, or if Study's going to be doing some objective work.
I mean, in terms of in-game leadership and main callouts, I think Flawless is probably going to be the guy to look to. If I'm looking at Assassin Vengeance, they're both pretty quiet players. I mean, if you ever listen to them during some team chats, they're not as vocal as the others.
Assassin's extremely laid back, calm, and he never gets flustered, though. That's a great thing about Assassin. He's super clutch, too. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see who steps up. I mean, Assassin could do it. I mean, he's extremely smart. He could step up and be kind of that vocal leader of
where to
position
just
players.
Needs to talk a little more.
Not a little more. Just be more definitive of, like a lot of people have a problem where they don't want to like say to somebody like, "Oh, Revan, you go there," because you take it kind of personally, So it's a lot of people don't
tell me what to do,
that.
Mr.
Yeah,
X.
exactly. No, nobody wants to be told what to do, but at some point, decisions need to be made. And, if nobody's going to make a decision, that's a bad decision in itself. So,
but now the question is, where does Censor go?
That'll be interesting to see. He's a very good player. I mean, he played with
he's a national champion.
Played with Envy for a little bit too. I mean, he's very, very good and established. It'll be interesting to see who picks him up. But he'll get on a good team.
I think the one thing working against him, though, is not only is it a bit late in the game, we have a lot of tournaments coming up in October.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So whenever there are tournaments right after another, we saw that at the beginning of the game. Teams, they don't like to make roster changes.
Yeah, no, teams when that tournaments are that back to back to back to back, it's extremely hard to make changes even to gameplay, let alone rosters. So it'll be difficult to find a team.
But Censor, we're going to be looking out for you, buddy. Wherever you're going to go, we're going to be on top of it. And you know what? Almost like there's a couple of tournaments left. There's 4 or 5 in the month of October. And then, we don't really know what's after that. So this might be the last month for Black Ops 2. You think even taking a break is a viable option?
Taking a break's a viable option because you really don't want to get burnt out if you're going to plan on going big next year for Ghosts, So, I mean, taking a break's always a viable option, but at the same time, you want to stay in
you want to stay relevant.
In it, yeah, relevant, So it's a hit or miss, but it looks like Intake's in the room now too, so they're going to be playing 2 subs?
Well, I know that Flawless is Canadian, so maybe he might not be. I know
but
that.
I thought
I'm not sure. Well,
I thought
don't know if he lives in Quebec.
We freed all Canadians, though.
Canadians, they're free, except if
Canadians
you live in
are
Quebec.
free now. Oh, so
I'm not
maybe
sure,
he's one of the Canadians who still aren't free.
Perhaps. I mean, getting the internet connection in your igloo, it's still kind of rough, so they're still trying to work that out. But I mean, I hope that the full Quantic squad can play, but it does look like Intake will be filling in for someone.
Intake's a very good player too. I mean, right at the beginning of the game, I believe they placed 2nd in that online qualifier for Dallas, right?
Well, they were looking like the #1 seed for a while, but Then Plasma and Option, Plasma, Option, and Moon, they all decided, you know what, we don't really want to travel for this event, and it kind of left Intake in a rough spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of unfortunate because that team was actually extremely good.
Yeah.
They used tons of interesting classes. I mean, shotguns on slums for a while. I mean, they were
innovators.
No, they definitely came up with a bunch of interesting stuff, and they were extremely good. I remember watching them at the beginning of the game, and they were up there with the best teams.
Yeah, it was either them or Farico Impact at the time for the #1 team in the game.
Yeah.
They were battling it out for the #1 seed going into Dallas, and they decided to forfeit against Impact because they found out that they weren't even going to go to the event.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, you know. I mean, stuff like that does happen, but you always wonder, I mean, what happens if they would have went to Dallas?
Yeah. Could have had, maybe they would have
changed the whole
season.
Could have changed the whole season.
A lot of crazy stuff could have happened at the beginning of the game, but now it looks like if Intake will be filling in for Quantic, well, that solves our problem with who's going to be the main objective guy and also who's going to be the in-game leader, because Intake could easily step up in that role.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a very good sub player too, so it kind of eliminates that AR heavy problem they have. And I mean, you never have an AR heavy problem on Yemen, which looks like it's probably going to be our first map. You'd probably want the ARs, but you know, still, this will be a very interesting team to follow throughout the whole day. I think it could be a pretty good team.
Oh, Flawless is here.
Oh,
maybe Vengeance isn't playing.
They're throwing some curveballs at us today.
Oh, maybe Intake is just here coaching them. I don't know. But I think maybe Vengeance would be the one not playing then. It looks like it will be Assassin, Study, Intake, and Flawless, which now they got a lot more machine gun power. The question now, who takes over as anchor?
Oh, well, Assassin.
Assassin. Okay, I thought more. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Assassin could do that.
Assassin will anchor. You know,
so we're good. We're all good across the board.
Yeah, we're all good. Everybody fits. The puzzle works.
Okay. And their opponent is going to be Relentless. This is another team we don't know much about, but there's always one thing you could safely assume about all these teams from game battles is that their search and destroy game is really good.
It's good, yeah. Every team from game battles has great search and destroy game. I think if you're a team that wants to get better, a pro team that wants to get better on search and destroy, just watch some of these game battle teams play, because they come out with interesting strategies for both bomb spots on each map, and they have crazy nade spots too. I mean, stuff like that can definitely be incorporated in anybody's game.
Not only that, you always see the top teams, they're always on their GP grind, and what do they play? They don't really play much variant.
No,
they always play search and destroy.
Always search and destroy, yeah. I mean, the rules are a little different. No tac mask, no flak jacket.
Well,
for game battles variant.
You could set it to
play for
MLG default rules.
But you know, you still see. I think the search and destroy really is started out for game battles variant. You know, so I mean, I would watch some of those guys play search and destroy, because guys like Huskers and them, they're extremely good at search.
Yeah, it's almost like unfair when you see them in a search and destroy game, because it's just their map awareness and their anticipation of where the other players are going to be at any second during the game. They're always correct.
Yeah, they also play at a little different pace on search. They're a little more aggressive than usually MLG pro teams are in search and destroy too.
I love that too.
I like
that. They're not afraid to be up in your face, to go for that initial map position and contest for it as well.
It changes everything. Yeah, I mean, you know,
they really play on your nerves.
Yeah.
Search.
Definitely. I mean, they control the map extremely well in search.
All right, so it looks like Yemen Hardpoint will be our first map in round number 2 of the MLG Play 2K series. Quantic Gaming versus Relentless. In Study, he's the guy I want to watch. He's going to be up in the enemy team's face all game long, trying to rack up those kills.
And you know, it's interesting they're coming out from Quantic right here. You're going to have 2 submachine gun players on Yemen, which we usually don't see too much of, with Study and Intake both running subs, both extreme conditioning. So that's something to look out for as the game goes on. If Relentless goes more AR heavy, if they can still keep putting pressure on the hill.
I'm also seeing a lot of trophy systems from both these teams. You saw that Relentless off the start, they threw a couple trophies onto the hard point, but right now it's all Flawless. He's got the hot hand. He's pretty darn close to his score streaks.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if he picks up score streaks, I mean, Yemen is huge for streaks, and he picks up a Hellstorm, which you always want to save that for either market or statue later in the game.
And now here we go. He's going to get fully streaked out with those capture points. And that's what we see all the time on this middle hard point. Constant juggling from both teams. It's kind of like they're trading points, trading blows. Whoever could get score streaks first puts their team in a great position.
Yeah, this middle hard point, I mean, a lot of people, they don't go for time, and they'll juggle it and get streaks. But, you know, it's mostly, I would say besides Church, it's one of the most, if not the most important hard point on the map.
And now we see Flawless. He was actually in that anchor position for a little bit, but now he's going to get a good spawn over your statue. Immediately turns around and takes out the opposing members. So it looks like they'll be safe for the time being, as you see Relentless they're a bit more focused on pushing up through the dirt path, which it can be very risky. And now you got Study with score streaks as well.
Yeah, I mean, just huge play out of the hill from Study. And one thing you're seeing from Quantic right now that just direct impact with it. But, you know, you're right there on the map, but I wanted to point something out, is that you had two guys from Quantic watching the same thing when you pretty much knew that Relentless was spawning bottom. So I would have liked to see them put more pressure focusing on bottom. I mean, they got away with it because Study went huge in the hill, but I mean, like, you're not always going to win that.
All right, so off the start of this game, you see that Quantic Gaming, without a doubt, they have score streak control, but they're only up by around 20 points, which isn't the biggest of leads. I'm looking for them to maybe use some defensive score streaks here to try to build themselves a lead.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it wouldn't be a bad idea to use these streaks. You have two players with them, two players fully streaked out. So you can use at least one set to kind of take control of this and to get 60 seconds here and then be able to rotate to Church and have two War Machines. I mean, that's devastating.
And that was the lightning strike coming from Flawless. Took out 3 members from Relentless, so it was pretty easy for Quantic to take the hard point after that. And now Flawless, he's right in the action here, finding 3 players. That actually takes out 2, but the shank coming in from Jingler right there will finally shut him down. But you see Study, he's still got streaks. What about you, Intake? You're EMP'd, but I'll see if you got any streaks to work.
Yeah, he might. I mean, it's very interesting, too, that you don't see the sub players using Tactical Mask or Flakjack, especially going into this Church, because you'd like to see them with one of the two.
I mean, I feel like Flak Jacket's absolutely essential whenever you're in the Church hardpoint, because the usual strategy we see to try to break is the EMP along the hop up, then following it up with a lot of grenades to try to force the players away from the jump up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if you get trophy systems in there, I don't think that's enough. I think you really need to have either Flak, preferably Flak probably, or Tac Mask.
And Assassin, he's got both of them on, but he's more of an anchor player. We'll find someone trying to flip the spawn, so he shuts him down, but he does eventually get cleaned up, so it's going to be Floss. And he's inside the hardpoint, another direct impact for him. And, you know, he's pretty safe with the War Machine in here.
Yeah, I mean, the War Machine is just devastating. Even if you have Flakjack, when you get hit with it, it gives that little flinch that throws your shot off, and I mean, that's so annoying.
So one more player trying to challenge that. Oh, no more War Machine for you, but here comes Study, able to help you out there. And that was 3 players down for a moment for Relentless. Last one does get taken out near the staircase. So I'm looking for Relentless to rotate over towards the statue. But even then, Flawless, he's still got a Hellstorm missile to use. Assassin was on a bit of a spree there, but he doesn't have any streaks. And Study, he still has all of them to call in. Yeah,
and I mean, this is going to be difficult for Relentless because they gave up. They didn't really rotate early from market. They really didn't get too much time. They pretty much gave Quantic a full 60 here. And now if they can survive these streaks, if they can just get out of this hill with somewhere near 80 points, 90 points, and just let Quantic burn these streaks, I mean, that would be huge for them.
Yeah, that'd be the ideal situation as well if they're able to gain any score streaks of their own. But here comes another Hellstorm missile being used by Study. So he used a lightning strike to break, and now a Hellstorm to kind of defend his team. All in quick succession, and now you see Relentless, they're forced to push up the dirt path, which this is not the position they really want to be in.
No, it's never easy to push up that dirt path. But you know, if Relentless could get in here and break some of this, they made Quantic use all their streaks. So it wouldn't look too bad going into the second half.
And now Quantic, they increase their lead to 90 points. That's still trying to get the final seconds remaining in the statue. Hardpoint Flawless back on your screen. Finds 2 inside the hardpoint, and guess what? He's got more streaks to work with.
Yeah, and I mean,
and he wants to use them.
Oh, but he can't because he's EMP'd. And, you know, giving up those streaks is so. It's not good. It's to win on Yemen. The streaks are so powerful because the map is so open, and especially with the spawns, the way they work. If you can kill the guys at market, spawn them all the way behind Church, I mean, it's pretty much a guaranteed 60 seconds.
Yeah, you could guarantee yourself at least 30 from spawning them across the map, and then if they decide to challenge and you kill them there, not only are you going to get more score, but you're going to get more points to winning the game. And really, the only hill on this map that, a lightning strike and a Hellstorm aren't effective on, it's going to be the Church hardpoint. But when you have a War Machine like Quantic does, that's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, the War Machine is devastating for that Church hill. It really makes it almost near impossible to hold, and it also allows Quantic to take a full 60 on market because they know they don't have to rotate early to Church.
So, score streaks helping out with what time you have left before you rotate. You could rotate a bit late because score streaks are pretty forgiving if you use them right.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that, I love to see teams use their score streaks, is that if you can get score streaks and you're moving to a hill that is easily streakable, that you can take a full 60 on a hill and then get closer and maybe only give up 10 seconds to the next hill, use those streaks, spawn him so far, and he is just direct impacting everybody with that thing.
He's got a sick War Machine shot.
Yeah, he's using it like almost like a rocket launcher in Quake, and he is relentless right now.
I see what you did there.
You see what I did?
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
That was a good one, Mr.
Really
X.
cool.
Now he's on to 13 kill spree as Quantic, just like MB did in their first round matchup. They're dominating their opponent. Another direct impact for him. We got to keep a tally on this. I think he's up to at least 4 or 5, but he's finally shut down before he gets some more score sheets. But take a look at this, 28 and 5.
Yeah.
He has as many deaths as he has captures.
Yeah, you know, and for a while the game was actually still pretty close, and they pretty much broke it open on that church and then statue and then this treehouse hill.
So Flawless, he's finally out of War Machine ammo, but now he's inside the hard point. Grenade comes in. That's what you get for not using Flakjack. And take a look at this. Relentless control the hard point.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, they have a decent setup on the hard point, but you know, now they're spawning out because of these streaks. But they didn't. That was interesting. They didn't streak the hill.
Well, there's actually he had a teammate inside the hard point that did get taken out from the lightning strike, but looks like he survived by laying down behind the package. Now it's going to be Assassin's turn to burn his score streaks as Quantic Gaming. They only need around 30 more seconds to close this one out, and I don't think they could win off this one because even though if you add up the time, they can.
Yeah.
The last second doesn't count.
Right. Yeah. You know, I mean, yeah, it's kind of
like the final kill bonus in Search and Destroy.
It doesn't. Yeah.
It doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Right. I found that kind of odd when, I mean, you get the points, somebody just got knifed in the hill, but you know, for Quantic, I would pretty much just take all this time. It secures you victory. So I would really just set up here and just hold on to this for the full 60, which they pretty much did.
And Study's looking to get his War Machine here, so Quantic, they could break this hard point with ease as, you know, he's just going to be searching around for the kill. Won't find any near this area, but it's going to be Assassin and Flawless working from the stairs. There's only one player inside the hard point for Relentless. That's going to be Kenny Dox, but it looks like the host lagging a little bit.
Little lag.
Maybe some Xbox lag there. Kenny, he's going to get some help from his teammates, but where's studying all this? Okay. It's getting kind of close to the War Machine.
Yeah, he's playing for his streaks right now, and you know, we just jinxed him again, but it's really not too big of a deal if they don't break this because at least you just don't give them streaks because then you can't really take that last 6 seconds of statue.
Well, anyways, it's mathematically impossible at this point, but they're going to break the hard point with that. They will win the game. Only one player to try and contest it, but it is over. 250 to 141. Quantic Gaming, they have an easy first match.
Yeah, I mean, just a strong performance from Quantic Gaming. You know, we don't see a lot of teams run 2 subs the whole time on Yemen, and I mean, they made it work. You know, they put tons of pressure on the hill. And, I mean, it's a good showing without censor, you know, because we were definitely worried about their in-game leadership.
And let's take a look at the final scoreboard here. It's going to be Flawless 33 and 7.
Yeah, that's
pretty good. That's not bad.
That's a pretty good score.
All right. He could have done better. I mean, he could have only died 5 times. And
you know, fairly average.
Yeah. Okay, map from Flawless as he leads the way for Quantic Gaming to win map number 1, Yemen Hardpoint. Quick commercial break, but when we come back, more action from the MLG Play 2000 series. Stay tuned.